overhead Colchester. Sorry, Chelmsford.
Don't think if I bring tickets for that.
I hope not.
The weather's not looking too great. Clouds seem to be dropping, and there's a little bit of precip. Ever since I was a kid, I had a dream of becoming a pilot, but could never afford it. One day I decided to stop making excuses, to sacrifice my comfort, to make my dream happen. My name is D, and this is my journey. This is Future Pilot 901. Circuits was all about flying around the same airfield. The navigation phase in my training was all about flying from the airfield to other places and being able to spot landmarks from the air. To do that safely, this chart had to become my best friend. Taking off from Northfield, my mission was to navigate from Chipping-Ongar through to Tiptree, back to Billericay, and then back to Chipping-Ongar. It didn't take too long before I made my first mistake.
Route 11 Northwood Radio, good afternoon, you're Stream 5, it's runway 20, right hand, QNH 1013.
Route 11 approaching Alpha 2 for backtrack to the ORP.
Route 11, roger, nothing to affect.
Roger, backtracking, World 11. World 11 is on the ORP.
Route 11, roger.
As you notice, I have a new flight instructor in this lesson. This is Sabina, and I want to thank Sabina for allowing me to film my flying lessons and also to share my experience.
Anytime you want, you can turn into the wind.
I just want to use as much of the runway as possible. Alright?
Yeah, you can use all of it if you want.
Yeah, I had an experience that made me kind of think about that a lot more. 55 knots, rotating.
Last summer, when I was battered by crosswinds, I didn't feel too confident about clearing the tree line at the end of the runway. It was a hot day, the aircraft was heavier than usual, so the climbing performance was really reduced. Having lived to fly another day, I learned an important lesson about how to use a runway from other aviation YouTubers.
One thing he did mention off camera is that I left more than 100 feet of runway behind me when I turned around. I made my U-turn on the runway at the end markers, which is technically the beginning of the runway, but I could have taxied way further back and at least used that rough gravel area there to accelerate, then go full power.
Josh Flowers from Aviation 101 is my #1 aviation YouTuber of all time. And that was a collab video with Chris from Angle of Attack, another great YouTube channel. See the link below. One of the most important quotes that came up from that video is that the most useless kind of runway is the runway behind you. So why use only a portion of it when you have the whole runway available?
What are you looking for?
The map.
Golf, Indy Papa, confirm your flying VFR.
I've got control.
VFR, Golf, Indy Papa.
Note to self, keep the chart handy when doing a nav flight.
Sorry. When you adjust the compass in the air, make sure the button is pulled out, otherwise it's going to get stuck on something. Probably not what you want.
Roger.
No, it's fine, it's got little tweaks. All planes have little tweaks. Once again, I was thinking, can't be 060 still. So when you're ready, it's good to make a call to South End as well to get basic service, okay?
So overhead Colchester? Sorry, Chelmsford.
Don't think you're proper and take it
I hope not.
Last time I attempted a basic service call, it was a lot to handle. It took me a while to put the squawk in, but this time around, I did much better.
QNH correct, squawk 4575. Golf Papa Tango Sound Alpha.
Basic.
Basic service.
Right, don't push the nose down. Alright then. So you turn the knob.
I hate this knob.
I know. 4. Enter. 5. Enter. 7.
Just as an encouragement to PPL students, you will find some things challenging and overwhelming, but they won't always be challenging and overwhelming. This is me flying with friends 2 years later, making a call for a basic service.
Farnborough radar, Golf November Whiskey Foxtrot Sierra, request basic service.
Golf November Whiskey Foxtrot Sierra, Farnborough radar, pass your message.
Golf November Whiskey Foxtrot Sierra is a Cessna 172 from Rochester to Sandown, just approaching Tunbridge, altitude 2,000 feet, QNH 1027, VFR, request basic service.
Golf Foxtrot Sierra, QNH 1026, basic service, squawk 1734.
QNH 1026 for basic service, squawk 1734, Golf Foxtrot Sierra.
Not perfect, but much improved. One of the essentials for navigation flight is the plog. It has the waypoints, the headings, distances, and the flight times between each waypoint. One of the important bits of information, which I did not fill in for this lesson, is the minimum safe altitude. So we had a bit of a chat about it.
What would you say the safe altitude would be?
It's not what I would say, it's add 500 feet for a VFR flight on the MEFs, the maximum elevation figures. So in our area, they're between 700 and 800 feet, the maximum elevation figures. So 1,300 feet would be like a minimum safe altitude for us. That's the minimum safe altitude. Not to say that we need to go that altitude,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't advise you to drop below it.
Right, so it's 500 for VFR.
Correct, and 1,000 for IFR. And actually, for a student pilot, I would recommend to add 1,000. You should be on the see and avoid basis anyway. You should be visual with whatever it is that you're avoiding. Yeah. Now, bear in mind, when you're doing a skill test, for example, if your planned altitude is whatever it is, obviously we're not even at our planned altitude, but let's say it was 1,500 feet. If you are at 1,300, that's outside of tolerance and that's a fail already. But if you tell the examiner, right, no, I want to adjust my altitude to this altitude, that's fine. What you can't do is have something written there as planned altitude and fly something else.
Yeah.
Same with the heading. So just bear that in mind.
This being my first navigation flight lesson, on top of the fact that I now had a new flight instructor, I had some corrections to make. Having said that, the main task was to plot a route on the chart, and it was time to start finding out whether my calculations, my plottings, had even vaguely brought me to the right places.
I am imagining, if I'm anywhere near correct, that would be Braintree?
Oh,
no, Whittam.
Whittam, yeah, stick to it.
Whittam.
Don't spoil it, yes, you're right.
I would say Tiptree would be around about there.
Yeah, you'd be correct.
So I imagine that's Abberton Reservoir ahead.
Don't imagine. Know it. It is. It is Abberton Reservoir.
Right, so that's Hanningfield. I'm imagining that's Chelmsford, but I'd have to check. Don't imagine.
You have a very good imagination, I have to say, very good imagination. The sort of imagination that's almost like a fact.
Almost.
Almost, yeah. So, are you still imagining, or do you think for sure this is Chelmsford?
Yeah, we should be passing Chelmsford to 3 o'clock.
And we are, indeed, we are. Oh, it's so quiet now in frequencies, like nothing.
Yes, no one fancies the fun.
Selecting 3 features to look out for helps to get a positive fix on your location. A major topographical feature like high ground or coastlines or cities work really well. Line features such as major roads or railway lines also work really well. In particular, their relationship to one another also makes it really possible to get a positive fix. For example, if I'm expecting to fly over a major town with a large reservoir to its left and a railway line cutting through it from north to south, and maybe there's a disused airfield nearby, the locations and the positions between all of those features allows me to really lock onto where I am within that space.
So I'd imagine. Again.
You have to stop imagining.
That's going to be Brentwood, so this is Tiptree.
What? Tiptree? We've just come from Tiptree.
Oh, sorry. Billericay.
Okay, what do you use to identify Billericay then? And
No.
yeah.
No, that's that little thingamajig.
Loving the professional lingo there.
I know.
Okay, so what's that in front of us then?
No, that would be Billericay.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
are you
Brentwood would be
imagining?
up there.
Ah, yes, that's more like it. That's more like it. Yeah, I mean, we're coming up to 3 o'clock now, so it would make sense time-wise. We should be there. What are the 3 features that you could tell me that you've identified?
In your 1 o'clock, 2.5 miles right to left, similar level.
What's that? A road or something cutting through to Brentwood?
Oh, it's a railway. Yeah.
A railway.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Obviously the relationship to Hanningfield as well.
Good. Yeah. And what's the third one? Time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Time.
Okay.
Coming up, 3 o'clock, minute past, but we're just coming up now. So yeah, that would make sense. It is Billericay. Well done. And then behind it is the, oh, it's sunny in London. Why is it just pissing out in Essex then? Just, the gods are hating Essex today, not London. Yeah, so we are at Billericay, and Brentwood is behind it. Yeah, we've got Brentwood there. And in fact, you see the tree line that's coming up like that, and you see it's going sort of north. That's the railway.
That's the railway.
And then there's another railway goes into Brentwood, and the 2 railways will meet up at some point.
Yeah.
The runway surface is now 555, wet. I'm hoping they put a cover on my car because I've got the top down. Oh no. Do you want us to make a call to the club? Could you ask us? Hopefully he's ready for me. Yeah, would.
Although there were cleanup points and things to adjust, I was quite impressed by the fact that I could spot anything from the air at all. It's really a different ballgame to spot things and to spot features from above, but this is the life I chose and the path I must walk or fly.
And your visual with Hanningfield there? Your left?
Negative.
You're not visual with Hanningfield? Here.
Yep.
Yeah, good. So, what do you think that is? Please don't say Colchester.
Colchester?
You know, fire up in the morning, you know, bang, bang. It's just cool, you know what I mean?
You still have control.
No, you tell me when you want to take control. You tell me when you want to take control.
Ever? Do I have to?
Yes. Because I say so. Bear in mind, you're going to have to work with what you've got, normally. What do you need?
This one. Oh. I'll make use of what I've got.
Make a decision. The failure to act is often the biggest failure of all. John Wooden. Until next time, this is Future Pilot 901, reminding you to live your dreams.